BioBalance Healthcast, episode 121, about BioBalance Health.
BioBalance Healthcast features conversations about positive aging. Your hosts are Dr. Kathy Maupin, Medical Director of BioBalance Health and a leading expert in treating symptoms of aging, and Brett Newcomb, a licensed professional counselor.
So our goal this week is to talk a little bit about BioBalance Health, the business that Dr. Kathy Maupin has developed over the last 12 or 14 years. And one of the things that we want to focus on today is the passion with which Kathy does everything that she does. And part of her passion is her passionate belief that that people need to be involved in their own healthcare decision making, and that for them to be involved in doing a good job of that or doing it well requires that they have information upon which to base good decision making. So she has, as a part of what she does in her business, developed a team of specialists who work with her to make sure that the most relevant, important, current, detailed information is available to her patients or to potential patients so that they can do the research. Today with the internet, people are just more and more beginning to rely on their own ability to find information. And Kathy wants to take that trend and make it functional and useful for her patients. And so to that end, we have with us as a guest today the part of her team of specialists is an internet marketing consultant named Romondo Davis. And Romondo has been working with Kathy for a long time to help her achieve this goal of providing the kind of information that people need so that they can look for what they are interested in finding and be involved as active participants in their own health care. So Romondo, could you talk a little bit about how you came to work with Kathy and what you do for her and her business?
Well, I was referred by someone at my church, and I have no idea who that person was, but I thank them. Thank you.
Serendipity strikes again.
And that was fall of 2003, and Kathy actually hired me to help her produce a PowerPoint presentation and support a talk she was giving to the women of the church. Next thing I knew, she was asking me to help her with her website, and BioBalance Health, BioBalance for Women at the time, was brand new, late 83, 2003, 2004, this was a fledgling company and a technology and an idea treating symptoms of aging with hormone pellets was relatively unheard of. So I was able to help her with that presentation that she gave and build a website, the first of quite a few different versions of websites. We currently have 4 websites for Dr. Maupin's enterprise. But what made her special in the world of clients is that she is, well, a lot of reasons. One is she is so knowledgeable. She knows a lot about what she does. She's also passionate. She really cares, and it's one thing to say your doctor or your provider cares deeply about your needs.
Right.
But Kathy suffered some health issues when she was in her early 40s and needing to have her ovaries removed, and aggravated her hormone balance and was desperate to find a solution. And she was able to find bioidentical hormones as a solution to her problem. She became trained on how to manage her own health through that, and then decided she would create a practice around it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Kathy, in many ways, is a reflection of her patient base. A lot of what she has learned as a survival necessity for herself. And as she recognized that she was not unique and that her issues, her health issues, were not unique for women in the same age population that she is in, she began to acquire this information and develop modes for treating these issues, the issues that come from the aging process and the resultant imbalance of hormones. As women get older, and men as well, and she evolved from focusing on how to survive to focusing on how to teach other women how to survive and maximize their quality of life as they age. We're all going to age, we're all going to get older, we're all going to die.
Well, and her female patients were asking her to treat their husbands.
Yes, people began to experience positive outcomes as a result of what Kathy was learning and doing as she developed BioBalance Health. And so then they would begin to say to her, well, can you do the same thing for my husband? And Kathy would say, well, I'm a gynecologist and I treat women. And they'd say, yeah, but isn't it close enough that you can do something? Yeah. And so Kathy got more education in the areas of endocrinology, endocrine specialties, and training in anti-aging medicines. And she goes to seminars and educational programs constantly. She sends her staff. She hires high-quality, well-trained staff that are committed to the idea of maintaining their educational standards and staying up to date with new things. What she found was that so many women who were experiencing what she had experienced would go to their physicians, and basically the message, the standard of care message was, you're getting old, that's what getting old looks like, and you just need to learn to live with it. And she found that that is not the correct answer, that there's a better answer and another way. And so she's developed this whole set of companies that help people find this better way, and that's what you do for her, is help her put that information out there and make it accessible.
Well, to have a client who is so willing and anxious to share what she knows, and as I said, she genuinely cares about helping people.
And not just to make a dollar. Right. I mean, it's not just to drive patients into her office.
Well, she helps people feel better.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like about women getting treated for hormones, especially women, and this isn't a selfish statement, is that it saves marriages. It really it has saved, she's got the testimonials to prove it, marriages on the brink because the women are hard to get along with. They are not keeping up around the house. They certainly don't want to have sex. And suddenly, there's new life injected into the relationship.
And it's not just the women.
Yes.
It's the men as well. Absolutely. Because again, the hormone imbalances occur in both of us, and they tend to affect us the same way. And one of the huge, significant contributors to that is loss of libido. And when the libido is lost for either partner in a partnership relationship, that complicates that relationship. But it's more than just libido. I mean, there are so many serendipitous positive gains from bioidentical hormone replacement, and especially replacement of testosterone. There's people that come in complaining of, or to check and see, they've done their research, they've looked online, they've looked at all the information that you've provided, that Kathy's provided, and they say, I think this may be what I'm dealing with. Then they have to come in, and Kathy's the gatekeeper. You have to have an appointment with the physician, which is Dr. Maupin. She will go through your tests, she'll go through all your information with you, your symptoms, discuss with you, what's your life like? What are you struggling with? What's going on in your life? And then she will filter that through her knowledge, and she'll say, you know what? Right now, I can't say that you're a good candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement because I have these other concerns, and I want you to go back to this physician or that physician or have this set of tests, get this information, and then when we have this information, then we can make a decision. Or she will say, based on everything that you're telling me and looking at the data that I have, you are a candidate for this. And so she'll provide the treatment. And generally she will do the first pellet insertions that are done and monitor that with you, and then she will assign you to one of the nurse practitioners. And then they will primarily be the person with whom you interface going forward, except once or twice a year you'll meet again with Kathy to say, how are things going? Are there any issues or concerns beyond what the nurses may know? Let
me take this opportunity to inform people, because I am privy to information, questions about how to become a patient, because I manage certain parts of the website. And a question I often get is, how do I become a patient? So let me just lay it out here. Yeah. The primary way, or the best way, is to go to the website and click on the New Patients link or tab at the top of the page, New Patients. Read the simple instructions there. It just has about 7 steps to become a patient. And then at the bottom of the page, there are 2 links. One for the women's questionnaire, and the other link is for the men's questionnaire. You click the appropriate link and fill out the medical history form. It's a basic medical history form, and submit it. Within 24 hours, you will get a response that includes what we call our new patient packet. And the new patient packet has a number of forms to read, instructions and forms to sign, and to submit to the office before Dr. Maupin will see you. You also must get a blood test. You will go to one of the approved labs in the area, and get certain tests done on your blood. And again, those results go to Dr. Maupin, and she looks over those and your medical history form and is ready, is prepared when you walk into her office. So that's the basic process. You have to fill out the questionnaire, you have to get the blood test. Dr. Maupin looks at it before she sits down with you, and then the time together, and now we'll shift into that informed consumer part.
Yeah. Because as I started to say, it's not just about the hormone imbalance. It's not just is my testosterone or my estrogen out of balance. What people discover is what many people discover when they get these pellet insertions and the process begins to work, is that they can do something about their blood pressure that they've not ever been able to do before, maybe come off the blood pressure medicines. They can do something about depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety are their own standalone issues. They can be emotionally caused or biologically caused. But what we are finding, what Kathy's been finding, is that very often the issue that is the trigger issue is lowered testosterone. And that by replacing the testosterone, some of her patients find that they can no longer need to take the anxiety or depression medicines.
Absolutely.
Now, Kathy doesn't make that decision. The doctor that prescribes those medicines, in consultation with the patients, make those decisions. But it is a serendipitous outcome. People look at weight loss, people look at migraines, people look at hot flashes, people look at so many secondary concerns, because what has been discovered is that testosterone is sort of like the leading domino in a chain of dominoes that fall in the aging process, and that by replacing the testosterone, and especially for women, which is the unknown factor here, what people didn't know and doctors didn't know about treating these hormone imbalances, is that women needed testosterone every bit as much as men do, and that they make it, and that when they age, their bodies stop making it. So it needs to be replaced.
Let me use this opportunity to talk about who you are and
Okay,
why you
sure.
know so much about Dr. Maupin's practice.
All right.
Sure, you're Dr. Maupin's co-moderator in these podcasts, and there's a reason for that. Can you quickly tell the story of how you two met, and then what's more pertinent to the podcast issue is what you've been doing with her over the past,
Sure.
how long?
Almost 2 years now. Kathy and I originally met because I'm a licensed professional counselor in private practice, seeing clients for marital issues. I discovered that some of my clients were patients of Kathy's, or she discovered. I'm not sure who discovered it first, but we began to cross-consult in terms of trying to develop treatment protocols that would maximize outcome benefits for these clients. And began then to spend some time talking about what are you seeing, what's your area of expertise, what do you know? And Kathy told me that she was trying to pull together all the disparate themes and threads of what she was learning to put it in a book, to put out there so that the women of America and their physicians would have this information available. I mean, it's going to change the face of treating women, aging women in the United States. And so she said, I'm writing a book, and I want you to help me write the book. So we started working over the last 2 years, doing the research, looking at her data, looking at all the stuff that she knows and accumulates, and coordinating that into a book. We have a contract with Hay House Publishers. The book is going to come out in November of this year, 2013. And as a sidebar to that, for the last 2 years, we've been doing these podcasts.
Right. Many of the podcasts are based on chapters of the book.
Or segments of chapters that are in
Right.
the book.
So in a way, the book has been being pre-published in what geeks like me would call time-based media. That is something recorded and takes time to consume, as opposed to
The
something
content
written.
modules or the content concepts of the book are in the podcast. And we can do a lot more in a 20-minute discussion in terms of free-range conversation than we can put on 10 pages in a book.
Absolutely. So the book and the podcast have been developed side by side. We are hoping that people watching the podcast will now be aware, and they better be, that the book is coming out, and that they'll want to buy it. Certainly, we're trying to sell the book.
Of course we want to sell the book.
It helps keep Dr. Maupin's dynasty of creating content and information and helping people with their hormone imbalance, keep that going.
Well, it allows her an audience that she can't normally reach. I mean, she's one physician working in a geographically based practice. This message is larger than St. Louis,
certainly.
Missouri, or Kansas City,
Worldwide.
Missouri, where she has her two offices. And by the venue of these podcasts, the websites that she maintains through your assistance, and the book that Hay House is helping us put out, Kathy wants to take this market, or message, excuse me, to a larger market. And to say to women at large and their physicians, please look at this information. Please consider what is now known and now available for treating women as they age and men as they age, with the goal being to maximize the quality of life. She so passionately believes that you don't have to get old, crippled up, and stored away in a body storage facility like a nursing home. She believes that you can live a vibrant, active, passionate, healthy life within the frames of your own genetics and your own aging and your own experience. Now, she's going to push you, and she's very pushy broad, and she's going to push you about weight loss, smoking, drinking, exercise, all the good health guru tips. But it's all coming from a foundation of replacing hormones that naturally occur in the body, and as the body ages, naturally decline. And she says that you can replace those to levels that you had when you were younger, and you can reap a harvest of good health benefits that will pay dividends in terms of quality of life experience.
Right on. I can tell you that her treatment, prescribed treatment that she gives is in the hormonal dosage, the supplements that she may prescribe,
Right.
and also lifestyle changes.
Right.
Those are 3 areas that she will advise her patients to consider when she makes or those are part of her prescription. Let me run down some of the more technical issues about how to participate in the podcast experience.
Okay.
We talked about the book, and I just want to add this. The book has influenced the podcast episodes over these past 2 years, but also you and Kathy react to news stories about things related to anti-aging, questions that might come up.
Healthcare in general.
Yes. Questions that might come up from patients or associates in the medical business, and also just stories that you might bring in. A lot of these podcasts are about relationship issues that really almost have nothing to do with aging. Of course, we all age
They're not
constantly,
aging, but they're age-old issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure everyone viewing or listening to this podcast right now knows how to access what all the options are for accessing the podcast. We post it on a service called Libsyn.com. You can go to BioBalance.Libsyn.com, and you'll find all the audio podcasts there. iTunes is a great place to subscribe if you're an Apple user or have an iPhone, an iPod, or an iPad, because you can subscribe to the audio stream there and get it automatically delivered to your mobile device, or you can watch it on your computer. The video portion, we primarily want you to come to drkathymaupin.com to watch the video there. Of course, that helps us in the search engine rankings, but also YouTube at youtube.com/BioBalance Healthcast includes all of the podcasts there, and you can subscribe to that stream and get an email alert every time one is posted. We also transcribe these podcasts, and they are available via PDF download from drkathymaupin.com. And also, we're working on including closed captioning for all the videos on YouTube. We're a little behind on that, but some of the older podcasts we've done, you'll be able to eventually see this transcript as a closed caption on this podcast. BioBalanceHealth.com includes a page that just lists the titles and the episode numbers, so you can scan that list and see all the episodes. And we've covered, and I say we because I'm always behind the camera, covered a lot of subjects.
Yes, we have.
mean, it's a diverse list, and I think those of you not familiar with the podcast will see that we cover a lot of bases. So other content I want to cover briefly, because we are running long here. Dr. Maupin's patients are passionate about sharing their story. Many of them don't mind going on camera. At BioBalanceHealth.com, there is a wealth video testimonies, especially about women. Now, for some reason, men aren't quite so willing to share their stories, but women's testimonials, we have quite a few there. Also on the BioBalance Health website, as I mentioned, the new patients page, very important page for anybody wanting to get into the practice. We have separate sections for men and women, so you can go in there and learn all about bioidentical hormones and what we're now referring to as testosterone deficiency syndrome.
Right.
So we're now adding that terminology to the website, even though the testosterone has been the primary problem with hormonal imbalance forever.
Yeah, but it hasn't been recognized as a classified medical syndrome. That's a name that has some meaning.
Yes.
And so Kathy is promoting that to the medical societies.
Right.
We need to recognize that this is a syndrome and call it that.
Right. Very good. And we have an extensive article reference. Dr. Maupin just doesn't make this stuff up. She does a lot of reading. She reads the journals. She is a member of the associations. She knows what's said out there to support what she does.
Or to attack what she does. And
Well,
she's very open-minded about engaging in a discussion about
True.
what is your data, what is your information, because she wants the informed consumer. Look at all sides of it. One of the things, if I can interrupt you for a second, so many of the people that I talk to who work with Kathy will say to me, you know, I went in there skeptical because I thought it was just one more thing somebody was trying to sell. And she wasn't trying to sell anything. She didn't try to sell me on getting this procedure. She wanted to look at the information, look at the data, discuss with me what we were discovering, and then leave it up to me to make a decision. So Kathy is not selling anything. She's providing information. She is passionately committed to understanding this syndrome and providing treatments for it for those people who want to come and get it.
I beg to differ on this selling thing.
Well,
because Dr. Maupin has a line of skincare products developed out of her own need to treat her own complexion and her own skin problems. She formulated her own line of products under the brand BioBalance Skin, and there's a website for that, as a matter of fact. There's an app for that.
Yeah.
BioBalanceSkin.com, which includes all of her skincare products, as well as access to her services for aesthetic treatments. You can get laser work done, hair removal, spot removal, tattoo removal, eye lipo, jet peel. It's all there on BioBalanceSkin.com. And I mentioned many times,
skin blemishes, skin cancers, those kind of things.
And in her little office over here across the way, she has it jam-packed with the technology and the professional, the technicians who get this work done. And she is passionate about not only helping you feel good with the hormones and the supplements, but making you look good with her products. So she does sell those, but she's not about that.
She's
you know what?
a huckster in the sense of selling.
When you come into her office for your consultation for your hormone problems, she probably won't even bring up the skincare products unless she says, your skin looks really dry. I have something you might want to consider.
Yeah.
And she might even give you a sample. Who knows? Hope I'm not in trouble for saying that. One more website to talk about.
All right.
One for the book, which is currently in a very simple form, thesecretfemalehormone.com. And as we get closer to the publishing date, that site will be fleshed out. But we do, on that site, have a subscription form where you can give your name and your email address and receive updates on the status of the book.
When the book comes out, it'll be available and you can get it.
Yep. So I guess that really summarizes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
I just want to encourage people. We have an email address that you can use to contact us in regards to anything you hear, a question, a suggestion for a subject you might want covered, and that's podcast@biobalancehealth.com.
And you can always reach me at brettnewcomb.com.
Thanks.
Email your questions or comments to podcast@biobalancehealth.com. You can find the BioBalance Healthcast on iTunes and on YouTube. For more information about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy and other reverse aging solutions, visit biobalancehealth.com or call 314-993-0963. You can find Dr. Maupin on Twitter at Dr. Kathy Maupin and on Facebook at facebook.com/BioBalance Health. Find Brett Newcomb at brettnewcomb.com.